Good day everyone! Welcome to Math with Teacher Justin. On today's topic, we're going to discuss factoring perfect square trinomial. Okay, so in factoring perfect square trinomial, first thing that we need to do is to identify if it is perfect square trinomial. So here are the tips on how to identify perfect square trinomial. A polynomial to be a perfect square trinomial, three conditions must be satisfied. First condition is the first term and the last term must be a perfect square. Second, there must be no negative sign before the first term and the last term. Third, if you multiply the square root of the first term and the last term and double the result, you will get the second term. So here are the steps in factoring perfect square trinomial. So first step is to get the square root of the first term. Second step is to get the square root of the last term. And for the third step, if the middle term of a perfect square trinomial is positive, then the factor will be the square of x plus y. Or we can say that we have the quantity of x plus y times the quantity of x plus y. If the middle term of the perfect square trinomial is negative, then the factor will be the square of the difference of x and y, or we can say the quantity of x minus y times the quantity of x minus y. So let's have some examples. Okay, so let's have an example. For example, we have y squared plus 24y plus 144. So first thing that we need to do is to prepare our grouping symbol. First step is for us to get the square root of the first term. Okay, the square root of the first term will be y. So we have y. Now we will copy y, the square root of the first term, to all the groups. Okay, that will be the first term of each group. Second step is for us to get the square root of the last term. The square root of 144 is 12. Okay, 12. Now our third step is for us to identify the sign of our middle term. So what's the sign of our middle term? Positive. And that will be the sign of all the operation inside the group. So we have addition, addition. So if we want to check if our answer is correct, we must multiply the first term and the last term, the square root of the first term and the last term, 12y, and then multiply it by 2. It should be equal to the middle term, 24y, or positive 24y. Therefore, we can now say that this will be our final answer. Okay, let's have another example. For example, we have 4x squared minus 4xy plus y squared. Now, in order for us to factor this, first we must prepare our grouping symbols. Okay, so prepare our grouping symbols. Okay. Next step is for us to get the square root of the first term. So get the square root of the first term. The square root of 4x squared will be 2x. Okay, so we will copy 2x to both groups. Okay, 2x, 2x. Okay, next is we are going to get the square root of the last term, which is going to be y. Okay, yeah. Next is third step. Look at the sign of your middle term. If the sign of the middle term is negative, then the operation that we're going to use for our groups will be subtraction. Okay, now to check if our answer is correct, we will multiply the first term and the last term. So 2x times negative y, it will be negative 2xy. Then we will multiply it by 2. We will double it. We will double the result, and it should be equal to our middle term, which is negative 4xy. So since this is the same, we can now conclude that this this is the factor of our given trinomial. Okay, let's have our last example for today. We have 9x squared plus 24x plus 16. So first thing that we need to do is to prepare our groups. Okay, so first step is for us to get the square root of the first term. What is the square root of 9x squared? So the square root of 9x squared is 3x. We will copy 3x to both groups. Okay, that will serve as the first term of each grouping symbol. Next is we're going to get the square root of the last term. Okay, what's the square root of the last term? It will be equal to 4. Okay, and then after that, third step, we are going to look at the middle term. What's the sign of the middle term? It is positive. So we're going to copy the sign of the middle term, which is positive. Okay, to check if our factor is correct, we are going to multiply the first term by the last term. So 4 times 3x, it will be equal to 12x. Then we will multiply it by 2. We will double the result, and it should be equal to our middle term, which is 24x. And since we have the same middle term, it will be our, or this will be our factor of the trinomial. Now that you already know how to factor perfect square trinomials, it is your turn to try it. Please click the link in our description box below in order for you to practice your new skill. And that's it for today. I'm Teacher Justin. Goodbye, God bless, and stay safe. See you on my next video.